श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदा शिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः। So we are in the third section of the second chapter, Kaṭha Upaniṣad, which is almost the end of the chapter. Lord Death being asked by Nachiketas to give some answers for his doubt. This is the central subject of Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Upanishad starts with a ritual performed by the father of Nachiketas, and Nachiketas saw some things which are unfit for the father's attitude. When the ritual is going on, and he pointed out to the father, Father, if you are distributing these type of things for the people, to whom are you going to give me? In that ritual stage, father told, due to anger to Nachiketas, you will be donated to Lord Death. And he went to Lord Death because it being a promise done in the stage of rituals for the sake of father's lifespan, he went to Lord Death's house and he asked a question, and a lot of things happened. We were dealing with the Kaṭha Upaniṣad for last 2 years, and Lord Death was pleased with the discipline, with the maturity, with the politeness of Nachiketas in asking question patiently with Lord Death, even though he discouraged Nachiketas not to ask these type of questions which is not fit for a young boy. There are few things which are good for a young boy, which I will give to you. He tried to discourage Nachiketas, but Nachiketas was very firm in order to find out that answer. Then the Lord Death revealed the ultimate truth of entire creation as well as the human being. That truth is being told in and through in Kaṭha Upaniṣad. That truth is all-pervading consciousness, which is eternal, which is the source of ultimate happiness. What we enjoy as the material happiness is a drop of this happiness, and also infinite in terms of and time. Desha kala vastu paricheda shunyaha. When we are limited in space, when we are limited by time, when we are limited by object, but our intrinsic nature is not limited by time, space, or object. All these things he revealed, all these things he revealed properly. And Nachiketas listened carefully. When the listener is more concentrating in your topic, if you come to know, you reveal everything. Suppose a person in front of you is not at all listening or he is not at all interested in what you are saying, then the vakta, the person who give the teachings, may have a, a, a loss of enthusiasm. He may lose the enthusiasm to give everything. But here the Lord Death was completely pleased by Lord Nachiketas. And he reveals everything, entire way. In order to achieve the goal, what are the means? What is the goal of a human being? How can one accomplish this goal? If it is already accomplished thing, why we are not understood properly? What are the possible obstacles in the pursuit? All these things are being revealed by Lord Death to Nachiketas. Here, today, we have to study the means for the goal, the path, or the attitude which we have to establish in terms of knowing Brahman. So, that two shlokas which we are going to study now are very important because the word yoga is presented, a word which is always misunderstood by a lot of people. We will see these two verses and how these verses are revealing the means to achieve the goal and how we can be prepared through this understanding of the verses. In anything, preparation is important. Once you are prepared for certain things, you are success of halfway. The preparation being important, Lord Death reveals how one should prepare because already accomplished thing is not known by everybody. Even it is all pervasive, it is not known by everybody. Even it is clear like everybody. Pradibodha vithitam matam amrtatvam hi vindade. Upanishad says, in each and every thought and conscious, it is being revealed in every second, in every thought. Still the people miss the obvious. So Lord Death revealed the path, the means to know already established thing. I will read that verses and I will give you the meaning. We need bit of base to understand. I will give you that. First, I will read these two verses first. Verse number 10 and verse number 11 in the third session of Kaṭha Upaniṣad, second chapter. Yada panchavati paramam gatim. Then 11. Tam yogam tam yogam iti manyante stiram indriya dharanam apramattatastha bhavati yogaha hi prabhavapyayau. I will read these two verses once more for the sake of understanding. Yada panchavatiष्ठन्ते ज्ञानानि मनसा सह बुद्धिश्च न विचेष्टति तमाहुः परमां गतिम् तां योगमिति मन्यन्ते स्थिरामिन्द्रियधारणाम् अप्रमत्तस्तथा भवति योगो हि प्रभवाप्ययौ. Very beautiful verse. We have to see what Shankara also given through this his commentary. Everything we will look into that. In the Sanskrit, few verses start with the word yada. The word yada, simply if I translate, it's called when. Yasmin kale. The possibility is pointed through this word yada. There is a possibility that it will not happen. There is a possibility it will happen. Then yada, when it happens. Yada, yasmin kale, in which time. There is a time it will not happen. Like everybody in this world got a birth of a human and we were baby and we grown up with the awareness of human being. We were asking to mother and father how to live the life. We have very good experiences in our school. We have very good experiences in our career. We have a lot of experiences with the different people. All these experiences made me firmly to believe that I am a human being. So up to this, the yada word says there is no possibility of knowing who am I when you live a life of a human being. Nobody is pointing out to you. Everybody is promoting your buddhi of human being. Yes, you are a human being. Government, father, mother, uncle, your lover, whoever it may be. They see you as a human being. So everybody promotes the my mistake that I am a human being. That's why yada word is pointed out by Lord Death. Starts with yada, in which time, when a person surrender to the teacher, traditional teacher, with a lot of commitment, with a lot of sincerity, with a lot of respect, then the teacher will reveal the truth on that time, yasmin kale, on that time, when you are ready to receive the proper knowledge from a proper teacher, on that time, yada yasmin kale, on that time, what happened? Panchavatishthande jnanani. Avatishthante, bringing back. Literally, if I say avatishthante, I will read the sentence of Adi Shankara and I will give you the explanation. So Vishayebhyaha nivartidan nivartidani atmani eva panchajnanani. From the respective things, five senses are withdrawn. They came back. Avatishthante. They are just relaxing in its own place. When I think about the mountain, my eyes are on the mountain, my mind is on the mountain. When I think about the book, I withdrawn from the mountain. Now I am thinking about book and my eyes are in the book. When I see you, I think about you. I have withdrawn my senses from the book towards some other thing. So withdrawing is easy because people used to say, how can we control, how can we withdraw these senses from the external thing? It's not possible. When I see Golgappa, I want to eat. How can I withdraw my tongue from that? When I see Pani Puri, I want to taste something. How can I withdraw? You know, it's not very easy for an ordinary person. I say it's very easy. In our daily life, we withdraw our senses from seeing the mountain, birds towards some other thing. And again, I withdraw towards my children. Again, I withdraw towards my car. Again, I withdraw towards my books. From one to other, we always withdraw our senses. So, nivartanam is possible. Withdrawing is possible. To turn back, return back. We already mentioned in few few days before in one slogan. Paranchikani Vedranat Swayambhuhu Parang Pashyadi Nandaratman. Senses are constructed by the Creator looking outward. In our face, everything is there, and they are looking out. Towards the voice, ears are concentrating. Towards the sounds, towards the objects, our eyes are concentrating. Towards some smell and fragrance, our nose is concentrating. Towards good food, our tongue is concentrating. Towards some good contact or touch, our skin is concentrating. That's why we buy new kambal, very good kambal, so that when I close my body, it should be like that, some feather touch. All these things being created by the Lord, looking towards external, it goes around. Parang pashyati na andara. It is not meant, it cannot look towards the. So external senses are always running towards different things. Withdrawing from one, it will go to another. Withdrawing from that, it will go to another thing. How can we withdraw from the external world and focus on the teachings? I already mentioned withdrawing is possible, but there is a logic in withdrawal. When there is a need, when you see some value on a thing, you just drop something which is not meant for you or not at all valued by you. More value is for some other thing. So you withdraw from the less value, the object which is having less value, you focus on something have big value in your life. So withdrawal have a logic that you focus on things which has more worthy and which is more connected to your personal life. Suppose if you come to know the connection between the knowledge which you are seeking, which you want in your life, which is the only solution. If you come to know that is the knowledge which is being revealed by the teachers, sages, rishis, then you will withdraw from everything because you came to know the value of the knowledge. I am a seeker of happiness. This knowledge will give you the ultimate happiness. I am a seeker of eternity. Then this knowledge will give you the eternity for your whole life. I am a seeker of permanent things. This knowledge will give you the secret behind the permanence of anything in the world. Thus, in spite of all my limitations, I am being infinite. If the knowledge says, I will drop all the limited things, I will focus towards the knowledge which is already accomplished. This knowledge is not something to invent after studying. This knowledge is something to discover. Already something is existing, and this knowledge is pointing out the existing thing. And if you come to know that existing thing, you will give up all the limited things in the life and focus on that thing. It's not that you give up everything and you become a sadhu and go to Himalayas. You will live with limited things, but your priority has changed. Once upon a time, without this, I cannot live. This priority being changed, I can live even though they are not around me. For the time being, they are there, so I will live along with them, no problem. So withdrawal is possible if the priority comes according to the value. And I came to know the value about this knowledge, and my withdrawal is very easy. And another example, we know that we have bitter experiences also, sweet experiences also in our life. Unfavorable situations are the results of my wrong actions. Most of the people don't have this idea. I, they just complained about their life. Oh, I have this, I have that. They, this is why the sadhus are been concerned that they don't radiate their unhappiness or worries or illness towards somebody. When you go towards them and sit near to them, they don't radiate their unhappiness towards you. But if you are connected with an ordinary person or somebody who is very much intimate with you, and they always radiate because they don't have the idea. They always complain about their own life, and they, you know, why? Because they don't have the knowledge that any unfavorable situation any bitter experiences, any bitter experience in our life is due to my own wrong actions. Now, what is the solution? There are neutralizing actions in our tradition. Prayashchitta karmani. If I have done something wrong, deliberately or non-deliberately, prayashchitta karma, neutralizing actions can neutralize all my results, which are the product of my own evil deeds. Suppose if I come to know, I should get engaged in the neutralizing actions, correct? I withdraw from the wrong actions and I concentrate towards the neutralizing actions. Now my priority has changed because I want the favorable situations in my life. Favorable situations can only come if my wrong actions get neutralized. The results of the wrong action should get neutralized. Then only it is possible. That is why we do prayers daily in the morning and evening. We do some meditations. We do some donations. We distribute some clothes. We distribute some food for the poor, for the need. These are all neutralizing actions of a person who has done something wrong deeds, knowing or unknowing. Thus, our focus on doing certain actions will change to neutralizing actions due to the knowledge only. That is why the guidance is important. When we are under a traditional teacher, he guides you properly. You do this, you do that. It differs from one to one. Every individual will not have the same actions. Guidance is important. From the guidance only we get the knowledge. When we get the knowledge, definitely our priority will change from the external world towards the world of teaching. This is what he called here Nivartante. When, in which time, all the senses which are always in touch with the external objects withdrew, come return. They returned from the external objects and came towards the manas. Now I will read the next word. Avatishtante. Stay back. They just stay back. Avatishtante. Without doing anything. Avatishtante. With whom? Manasa saha. Along with the mind. When we are not interested in the external objects, at least for a period of time. This is called meditation. We just keep closed our eyes. We just sit in a position where we are comfort. We may sit in the chair. We may sit in the floor, on the top of a mat, anything. But you are not thinking about external thing. This is the main thing. You sit in a chair, you sit in the top of the terrace, you sit in a floor, you sit in the floor, you sit in a mat, you sit inside the forest, you sit inside the right in the middle of the city, no problem. The main concern should be you are not thinking about any external object. You don't want to listen any kind of noise. You are very much attached maybe with the family members. You may be very much attached towards the food which we are going to prepare right now. You are very much attached to see some program in television. All the senses have certain things in priority to listen or to think or to know. For a length of time, when one goes into meditation, he withdraws all the senses from the external world. Eyes are closed, and we are sitting in a remote place or in the middle of the city in my own room, completely closed, no sound at all. No motorbikes are running around me. No cars are going. No pressure cooker CT's whistle is not going on. When I say pressure cooker is very much available in India. I don't think so. It's available everywhere and all over the world. So whistles are the occasion of cooking. If you want to cook the dal in medium heat, you make 5 or 6 whistles like that. Anyway, I gave you an example. No sounds should disturb you. You can sit in a chair, no problem. Swamiji, so I go to river, I can listen the flow of the river. It's natural. It will not disturb you. Chanakya says, Anavastita karisya navane na jane. When you are unstable, whether you go to forest, whether you are in the midst of the city, you are disturbed. Because you are already unstable with your heart and mind. Anavastita. Then you will complain. When you go to forest, some birds are singing, how can I meditate here? Water is flowing, trees are shaking, and some sound I can listen. Some birds are making their noise. I don't want to be in the forest. Then you come to city and you say, neighbor is always seeing TV. How can I meditate? He's already unstable with one mind. You cannot change whole world in order to meditate. You have to accept the whole situation for meditation. It will become your nature when you meditate with all kinds of issues. You are not listening anything, you are not interested on anything. You just sit in a place, not so much disturbance. Some welding work or some construction work is going on and you want to meditate means that's not possible. I am talking about where there is a piece of silence is available and you stay there. Suppose if you go to temple or whatever, I'm an emotional person, still I can meditate, still I can go and withdraw my senses for a period of time. We are talking about a person who withdraw the senses for a period of time. We are not going to talk about the sthita prajna for the time being. A person who have already withdrawn everything 24 into 7. You don't want approval from anybody. He is not seeking any approval from anybody. He is not interested to talk anything to anybody. He is not interested to correct anybody. She is not interested to talk good things to anybody. Nothing is there. A convinced, mature person. That is an ultimate level. We will talk about that later. Now we will come to our standpoint. We are in we are in the midst of family life. We are in the midst of some other material life. How can we meditate? This is what I told right now. Wherever you go, you accept, you make sure that less noise are the least disturbances. So Shankara says here, Panchajnanani, Jnanartatvad Shrotradini Indriyani Jnanani Uchante. Even though the verse didn't directly mention the five senses, Jnanani, the word should be taken as Indriyani. Yada Panchavatishtante Jnanani Indriyani. The senses, when the senses are stable, returned back, all these five, Pancha. Pancha means five. Manasa Saha. They are just placed inside the mind because they are just reporters of the mind. All the information they have collected from the outside external world, they will put inside the mind only. Now they are not roaming around because of the convention, because of the guidance, because of the understanding about the limitations of the external things. A person slowly withdraw his senses. This understanding is called in our Shastra Shravanam. Shravanam. Listen, a very big discipline. From the traditional teacher, a, a person who is a seeker understand what is right and discriminate what is right and wrong through Shravanam, listening for a length of time. That is why Shravanam is presented as the topmost discipline in the tradition. Listening. When you meet a right person, you share your issues, you share your individual limitations about oneself, and that traditional teacher will give you the tips and will say to you, please listen this Upanishad carefully till the last day. Cannot have any kind of lagging unless we have some body health issue or some family. Don't be a person who always gives some excuses. It's not a good personality. Anyway, Shravanam, understanding through listening from the traditional teacher will help the person to see the reality behind the external objects. No other way. Because when you don't have a guidance from the traditional teacher, any external thing is a object of happiness. It is a car. You feel that it's an object of happiness for me. A beautiful Parker pen, it's an object of happiness. A beautiful dress, it's an object of happiness by natural. From the birth itself, any external thing is made made for me to enjoy. Thus, all the things in the world are being followed by me. Everything I will try to achieve in my life. By birth, I got this nature. It's a habit now. In order to change that habit for a length of time, One need to listen to the traditional teacher, no other way. Habit is very, very, very strong right from the mind, uh, our buddhi, everything. That habit is not very easy to eradicate, deep rooted. Only way is that listening the right from the traditional teacher. And another question arises. Will I change after listening for a length of time? When I listen what is right in my life, will I change? Do you think? Yes. We have that capacity to confirm what is right in our life. It is a blessed factor in our life. I confirm my life towards what is right after a period of time. I just drop when I see that absence of connection now. Asankham. In the 15th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Asanga Shasrena Dritena Chitva. Non-attachment is being practiced by the understanding from the words of traditional teacher. That's why Shravanam is important. Listening. Listen till the last line. In between, lot of questions arises. Keep quiet that time, because your questions will be answered in the coming verses. The entire vision will be presented without any doubts, without any confusion. In between, if the question comes, which is very much essential for the next class, you can ask. If not, just relax and listen what is being told. Listening, Shravana. Entire Vedanta is centered on this one value, Shravana. Mananam and Nididhyasanam can only happen after Shravana only. I will come to that. So listening towards a right person, to the entire life, it will help the person to reach what is right, to take a bold decision to confirm the life with the right thing. Without the Shravanam, nobody can correct their life in this world. An advice is to be listened by the person. A prescription is to be listened by the person. Even if you put your shirt upside down or ulta, what should be inside you put outside due to be busy to go into temple. I often do this, When I go to temple only, oh, my banyan, my t-shirt is today is ulta. Anyway, temple arati will start on 6 o'clock and it's very dark. But nobody is aware of what I wear and everything. From my example, I'm saying. Somebody should point out that you have wear your banyan wrong. Please correct it. Without listening, it will not happen to correct, When in our life, listening is the only way. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam will come after that only. No need to worry. Shravanam is important, really speaking. Listening again and again. Asuktet amrudet kalam nayed vedanta chintaya. from the morning till the night, from the first day towards the end of the life, may one lead his all life with the words of Vedanta. Nowadays, medias are there, like I am taking online classes with you. Cassettes are available, CDs available. But the first priority should be live. Be in front of a traditional teacher, regardless of the age. Age is not a criterion for the maturity. Vruddho Shishya Gurur Yuva. Dakshinamurti is a 5-year-old boy. And all these anagadis are above 90, decided by the age. That Gurutvam, they may have some defects. We don't see that. We see their words. Chandala is a person. Adi Shankara says Chandalostu Dujostu Gururityesha Manisha Mama. Whether it is a cremator or a guru, his words are being valid and they are Vedanta. So I see him as a teacher. So limitations you keep aside of anybody. Only take the words as a guru. Just listening 5 minutes, you can understand whether he is giving the vision or he's just blabbering. Thus, listening become very important in our tradition. After listening, only one person will withdraw the senses from the external world. It will take time for few people. Never mind. This is how we stop smoking. This is how we stop drinking. This is how we stop all our bad habits. Our parents says, our teacher says, our friend says, we don't care about that. At last, doctor says there are some issues in your health. Now it's very much connected individually. What I am doing is affecting me. Now I listen, doctor. It's very important. Similarly, the vision is very much connected with the individual. So one needs to act upon that. Thus, here, listening for a length of time, sometimes it will happen within a month, sometimes it will happen after 9 years, no problem. But one should listen again and again and again. Habitual errors need repeated corrections. Pujya Dayananda Swamiji says that. So, leave to one's own position. It can withdraw, one can withdraw the senses and keep inside the mind. Here it is told, Yada Panchavatishtande Jnanani Manasa Saha. Along with the mind, without having any object inside the consciousness, all the senses are there in with the mind. Manasa Saha. Saha means along with. Along with the mind, senses are there. So there is no separation from the mind and the senses. When you put your car in your shed, the car is resting in your own house. When the car is being driving towards the street, it's moving from one to another place every second. Similarly, after knowing what is to be done in my life, I bring back my senses to my own shed, my own resting place, which is called mind. Mind means different types of thoughts. When there is no objects, there is no different thoughts. When there is no different thoughts, it's only one single consciousness. So the senses are put together in one single consciousness. You close your eyes, you don't listen any voice. Even if you listen the voice, you are not focusing on that. Like, for example, you may be listening some birds' voice. Some monkeys are jumping around me, very ferocious. They make some noise. Somebody is shouting below to get certain things. Some online purchase is going on. All these things are there around me. But we are concentrating the words of Adi Shankara and the Lord Death. We just ignored everything unconscious without knowing itself. We don't know what is going on. Now, when I told only, you are getting, oh, what are the things going on? Like this, we just ignore all the things around me and I focus myself. The best time for meditation or practice of meditation is morning 3:30 to 6 o'clock without having any food, just drink some hot water before 15 minutes. If you want to clean yourself, you clean. And at least 4 o'clock you start. You can sit for 4:30, 5 o'clock. After that, the sleep comes, you sleep, no problem. As a beginner, sleep will not come. If I sleep in the meditation, that's also not a problem. As a beginner, it's all possible. You at least you can do for 5-10 minutes without having anything. You just put your senses without doing anything inside the consciousness. Thus, a person withdrawing all the senses from the external world, all put together inside the mind. Manasa saha. Then, buddhihi cha na vicheshtati. There is no movement, vicheshta. Cheshta means movement. Some some fluctuation. There is no vicheshtata. There is no any kind of needs or there is no any kind of achievements on that time. At least for a period of time, one need to focus on oneself. This energy which you store for this 1 hour is tremendous. Without having water and food, you may survive for 5-6 days if you do 1 hour proper meditation. Our sadhus are the proven fact for that. People think that without food I will lose my energy. No, the more you practice without eating food, the more energy you will get conserved. These are all proven facts which we will deal coming days. So, with the buddhihi, buddhihi cha adyavasaya lakshana. Adyavasayam, arriving at a proper conclusion. How? By listening from the traditional teacher. Buddhi is the place for the conviction. When the buddhi is convinced, it got the clarity, it will make you not to move to any other things. Like, When somebody says it's a very hot plate, don't touch. After listening, you will not touch because you will get affected. Similarly, the conviction about oneself, there is nothing there in the external. Things don't go beyond that. All the things and all the happiness belongs to you. When the traditional teacher says through different logics, through different attitudes, through different visions, one person gets convinced. That confirmation, the intellect is now enlightened. That enlightened intellect will tell the mind not to move anywhere. So enlightenment of the buddhi make the person not to move anything. Na vicheshtade. So vyapareshu na vicheshtate, na vyapriyate. When the buddhi, which is convinced, which is enlightened, will say the mind not to move anywhere. Don't think about anything. It may take few days, or it may take few months, but one can practice. Even if you don't know volleyball, sometimes when the people are playing, you can do that, no problem. Anything you can try. As a Vedantin, you have to try everything. Even a construction of house is going on, you can try how they are making, fine. So meditation is a process to be done after listening from the traditional teacher. There is no meditation without listening, who am I? Because here it is told, so vyapareshu na vicheshtade. By adhyavasaya lakshana buddhi. Buddhi means one who arrived at a correct conclusion. Adhyavasaya, decided to do this. Then na vicheshtade. That is called tamahu paramam gatim. This status, this disposition of the mind is called gatim. Gati in the sense of path, having right direction, having the right goal in front of you. You are going to reach the right goal. They say, they, paramahu, tamahu, the matured people, the sages, the traditional teachers says that this is the right path towards the goal. These steps are the right steps towards the highest goal. Tamahu paramam gatim. I will say once more what I have explained you. When, in which time, all five senses are withdrawn from the external world and stay back in the mind, and the mind being convinced by the buddhi, which already arrived at a correct conclusion by listening to the traditional teachers' teachings, that path, that disposition is the highest goal. One may proceed through these steps, Lord Death says to Nachiketas. Furthermore, we will see in details in the next class. Now we will stop. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayandam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Brahmanebhya Shutamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sugino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyah पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ